Dear CG thinkers, welcome! I'm Rudy, I'm the developer of Fluent and Fluent Materializer, and today I propose you a tutorial. I mean a masterclass to texture together, step by step, this barrel. The result is 100% procedural, no image has been used, and yes, even the decals are procedural. If you think, what the fuck, I want to know how to do that, well, you can follow me and make the texture yourself because the source file is available for free on Blender Market and Gumroad. Link in the description. It's called Rudy's Mess. Open Blender. Remember to activate Node Wrangler in the add-ons. Here we go! Let's select the principal shader and add 3 layers. Go to the first layer to simply set the base color. What we are going to do now should become an automatic, your basic routine when you make a texture. First step of the routine. Randomize the color. My method is the massive use of the hue saturation value node. Let's position one, set the color and connect it to the layer. Let's add a grunge node 00 which will allow to vary the intensity of the hue saturation node. I set the value to 0.66 and the hue to the 0.51. Feel free to play with these values. A basic rule, a variation never comes alone. Let's duplicate the HSV node and the grunge to double the effect and have more nuances. Don't forget to change the seed so that you don't have any superposition. Now let's work on the roughness. For consistency, we reuse the grunge 00 nodes for the roughness map. After the color and roughness, we finish with the normal. In order to see better what I do, I disconnect the roughness map and set a low value on it. We can imagine that this barrel is not perfect. In this case, it's a bit deformed. Let's get a simple deform node and connect it to the normal input. I voluntarily increase the straight value too far to better see the size of the texture and adjust the scale. We continue with the addition of impacts. By connecting the two nodes together, we stack the effect. This is really basis of the add-on. We continue editing details by stacking the two grunge nodes to the impact node. It's over for the normal map, we reconnect the roughness map. The basic texture is finished, a little review before the continuation. This is a way I use all the time, 2-3 nodes and sometimes more to make color variations. Depending on the case, I reuse the same nodes or nodes to make the variation of roughness. Stack effects on the normal and reuse roughness nodes for more consistency, since many times gloss variation are due to surface variation. The decals. I know you are waiting for this part, and sincerely you are not going to be disappointed, and it will give you crazy ideas. Let's go. It's the second layer that will host the decals, and as I know I will use several decals, I set up a decal mixer. It's simple, just connect the color output to the layer color input and the mask output to the mask input of the mix layers. Let's go for your first decal biohazard. At the import, a wild empty appears. Catch it, not with a Pokeball, but with the G key. Also, hold down the control key to place the empty where you want. You will have understood where the empty is, the decal will be. Back in the object material, we connect the decal node to the decal mixer node. The pictogram is here. Some adjustments are necessary. Let's select the empty, change its size and rotation. We will now see the use of sticker decals with the triangular version. The idea is to be able to put anything inside. Once again, at the import, the empty appears, but this one does not interest us because we will use the same empty as for the pictogram, so that everything is exactly at the same place. Select the sticker, then the pictogram, press F, sync. Mission accomplished. Everyone uses the same empty for a perfect alignment. I put the node in place of the previous one on the decal mixer and connected the shape output to the shape input. How well it's done! Set the color as you like. I did classic. Play on the scales and the size of the empty to make everything look good. To finish the sticker, remember, you can put whatever you want as long as it's black and white. Before discover and hide skill things, we add a barcode. Duplicate it, nothing special, I let you look. Are you reset after this little peaceful moment? Let's start something that will surely give you ideas. New decal, hatching. I go to the item tab to make sure the empty is perfectly at the center. Connection and yes! The decal is a square or a rectangle depending on the node settings, but what I want is a round shape. And there we connect our brain and we think. Well, depending on the processor of people, it goes more or less quickly, and oh, a solution appears. I show you. Let's add a circle node. I synchronize it with the hatching to be well aligned. We just have to multiply the node together to get the result we are waiting for. Adjust the radius or the circle and it's good. So, how cool is that? Yes, it's so cool. Now, I will let you look at how you can erase the hatching around the opening of the barrel with the same principle. Music. Last decal for a very fine result. I leave the empty and synchronize this new decal with the last circle I placed. I connect it and adjust it, nothing more to do. What we are missing on these decals? 3, 2, 1. Randomize color, but some shade. A good point to those who answered well. For this, I get the output of the grunge node 00 that I connect to the input map color variation to control the darkening. As we are on old stuff, we have to wear it out. Let's add a grunge 05 node with the global mask entry. It's perfect. I desaturate the red that has been bothering me from the beginning. The decals are okay, a little review before the continuation. Be smart. This part will be quick and easy. In the next layer, we set the metallic slider to 1 and the roughness slider to 0.1. I use the pie menu to get the iron color. I nuance the metal color with a grunge 03 node and 0.66 darkening. Last thing, yes, already, the normal. With the node dense scratches, I completely scratch the surface. It's hard, it's deliberate. Where should the metal part appear? On the edges. Select the mix layers, then press F. Edges. I raise the mask straight to 5. We agree this mask is too clean, too smooth. We get grunge 04, which will be perfect here. For more impact, I increase the contrast of the texture and push the straight of the mask. We are already done. I told you it will be easy. Last step before texturing the cap. It's going to be as simple as the edges. Let's make some space and add a mix layer and a layer. For rust, we will find a ready-made node in the metal section. All you have to do is connect it. You will say I'm a bit crazy with this, but let's put some nuance with a grunge node. I reuse a node already present, keep node 3 as light as possible. That's better for me. This rust must appear in the cavities, therefore mask cavity. We push the straight of the mask, and for the irregularity we reuse the grunge node that we put just before for the edges. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Of course, I can't hear you. I take that as a yes. For more life in your texture, ask yourself what your model has experienced. The passage of time has different effects depending on the environment in which your object is. Here we are on a barrel that has been lying around outside on a damaged soil, but undercover, so it didn't take much damage on the top, but if it stands in water, then the rust should be attacked more at the bottom. I warned you, it's a masterclass today. So we continue so that our texture tells us a story. Let's add a grunge gradient node, play around with the sliders to see their effects. We combine these masks with a lightened node. You will see it's a node that you will use very often to add masks together. It is this result that I now use as a mask. We can imagine that the color is also more altered at the bottom. So we finish with a copy of the node grunge gradient that will we use to darken the bottom of the barrel. We give up nothing, we attack the last element, the cap. I add only 2 layers, adjust the color and work on my normal map. First I add grain, then impacts. Adjusting the impacts is much easier when looking at the mask output. I continue with scratches. Again, the mask output is the most useful for setting it up. I continue with the famous color variation. I think it's begins to be engraved in your brain. Grunge 4 and value at 3. Color and normal are done, the roughness map remains. As it is barrel, we can imagine that liquid could have dried on the cap, which is why we used a liquid stain node. We will use the roughness output on the roughness input with value between 0.25 and 0.6. Now let's prepare the second layer to put some dirt on it. It's a brown texture which I'm going to vary with a grunge 0.8. I'm raising the value to 2 and changing the hue to 0.52. We take advantage of the node to add relief with the normal output. A mask edge will allow to arrange the texture around the cap. This grunge 0.8 node looks pretty cool to me. I'm using it as a mask texture. It's perfect. This is the end of a complete tutorial, which will give you a solid basis on how to use Materializer, but above all, I hope that you will have understood the method, the philosophy with which we design a texture. Don't forget to subscribe. We will meet again soon because we get tired of everything except learning. Bye bye.